Well, I think the three of us think that student government can be a really powerful, proactive force in advocating for students on campus. And there are a number of areas that we think that it could expand its involvement into, whether that's academics or being more vocal and advocating for sort of equity on campus for students.
Right. And I guess just going off that, I mean, central to our campaign, and you alluded to it already, is the central belief that student government actually should be affecting positive change on campus and has a responsibility to spread awareness about issues that affect our student population.
Yeah, just basically really, making student government a bigger tool for, channeling student voices about the things that they're concerned about and things that they want to see on our campus.
So our name's United Progress, and I think that's not unintentional. The three of us all come from really, really different backgrounds on campus. Sort of with that in mind, one of the big projects we're going to work on, with the fact that we all come from very different populations, is doing a campus climate report. What a campus climate report does is it studies students, faculty, and staff in ways in which they feel unsupported or supported on campus based on their race, class, gender, sexuality, gender identity. Really anything. And one of these reports was done in 2006, and it actually resulted in the creation of the Office of Multicultural Student Affairs.
A couple of things that we've heard about from a lot of our SO leaders is that they don't have spaces limited and that funding is a little bit difficult sometimes. And so one of the things that we want to do is to create a centralized location for all the information for funding funds and sources and things like that, and so that particularly newer RSOs, all RSOs in general, can quickly access that and find it and know exactly where to go to apply to different things.
In addition to those two things, we really wanted to increase transparency with regards to what goes on with the Board of Trustees and the liaisons that we're able to appoint for the Board of Trustees. In the current situation, there isn't really a lot of access to people who are the liaison for the Board of Trustees, don't necessarily have much influence or say on what goes on in these meetings, and we think that that can change. We also have offered a couple of models on how to do that. In addition to that, we really just want to channel the student voice. And when we say channel the student voice, we mean by overtly expressing or articulating the points of groups such as the Trauma Center campaign and the UC Equitable Policing Coalition and things like that, to really push for issues and spread awareness to those issues that really have these large effects on our student body.
We aren't expecting ourselves to be the main movers in these campaigns. These are ongoing campaigns which a lot of students and community members are involved in, and that's not going to change. Student government's not going to take up the mantle and be leading it. But I think it is really and powerful and really, really important for what is the legitimate democratic representation of students to be voicing a strong support of these issues, which I really do think are fundamental to really creating an inclusive and equitable university.
So I've been involved with student government since my first year here, when I ran for college council twice and lost twice. But I decided to join one of the committees that student government has, which is CORSO, the Committee on Recognized Student Organizations. And my second year I actually chaired the committee, and this year I'm on college council. So I've been involved with student government in that sort of aspect. I also lead two different RSOs, the Muslim Students Association, which I am currently vice president of, and Students for Justice in Palestine, which I am co-president of. And through that capacity, I've met a lot of different RSO leaders and have really that experience with RSOs and students and student voices and things like that, and so that's why I think I make a good fit for VP of Student Affairs.
I think I sort of mentioned a lot of my experience already, but I guess one thing worth pointing out is that Community Government Liaison is a member of the Executive Committee on Student Government, so I've worked really closely with the President and the VPs this year, and I think have sort of developed a pretty solid understanding of the organization, how it works, some of the ways in which it could be improved. I think for example, this year we brought on a director of communications this quarter, actually, and I think that's been a really, really positive improvement, and that's something that we're planning on keeping next year. And so, having been a part of the executive committee, I think is going to prove to be a really valuable experience.
And I think that I bring more of an outsider perspective for student government. I haven't really been involved with student government throughout my 3 years here, but I'm the current president of the Organization of Black Students, and I've been very involved with OBS throughout my career here, so I know a lot. I've worked with SG a lot, but I haven't necessarily been a part of SG. In addition to that, I played on the football team my first couple of years, was elected to the leadership council for the football team for my 2 years that I did participate on the team as well. And also have been on a lot of different boards, like the Vice President's Advisory Council for Diversity and Inclusion, as well as the Office of Multicultural Student Affairs Advisory Board. So I think that I have a perspective that understands a lot of the issues that pertain to the multicultural community and a lot of marginalized groups on campus. And I think that we all do, and I think that our experiences kind of really speak to that, and I think that we can really make some good change on campus.
Well, I would say that we're really trying to go for like a really balanced platform, where we keep in mind all of these like things that we always see, like helping our SOs and having all these kind of services and things like that. But at the same time, keeping kind of what Impact's been doing this year about these bigger, broader issues that really do affect the campus community and that students really care about, and trying to use student government as a means to like really get these issues into focus, things like that.
Right. I also think that what we're trying to do is really radically reorient the ways in which people really understand student government. We're not really seeking just to go in and implement all these reform policies. We really want people to believe that student government can speak to these issues and is genuinely interested in speaking to these issues that really are affecting our campus community.
And I guess like as someone who's worked closely with Michael and Sophia and Jane, the current slate, I think that a lot of what we are positioned to do next year is because of the work that they've done in changing things this year. And they were a very new group. All of us in the executive committee were very new. And I think building off of the experiences that we have had this year will be useful for next year.